Finally, I have a working server, and we can do Module 5. So let me clear out extra tabs and get Module 5 from the class materials. All right, so it's going to tell you what to do here. So go to Search View and try Error or Fail Star for all time. And let's see if I can get these both to fit on the screen more or less together. All right.
What does the star do?
Star is a wildcard, just like in Google. So error. In fact, let's start with just error. If I search for error, I get 1700. But now if I do error or fail, then I just get 1796. So I have to have fail star because there are none that just say fail. There's fail followed by more letters. And now I get more, like 10,000, 50,000.
So this is that in similar query to that 200 modifier.
Yep.
Which is now you're not only getting error or fail with FAIL, but you're getting FAIL plus a whole bunch of additional crap
Exactly.
tacked onto FAIL.
Yep, and down here you see here, it's highlighting what I found, error, and here's failed. And not only that's a capital, and it accepts that too, because it's not case sensitive on results. So it got the word failed, and it would get failing and anything like that.
This goes back to that standardization issue where
Right.
someone decided to capitalize this versus not, someone made it ED instead of FIL.
Exactly. And somebody gave the field all different things too. That's why here I didn't even do field name equals value. I just did value because I don't even know what the name of the field.
Yeah,
It would be
have a string, you could have a number, you could have...
That's right. Well, if it's a string or a number, yeah, that's right, then I might have a problem. But at least it contains the word failed. So now I've got, okay, so that's the first bit. Now, review the search results. See if I can get this thing to zoom in and stop zooming out on me. All right. Okay. Review the search results. My search terms are highlighted. That's fine. At the bottom of each event, you see this stuff. Now here's something. At the bottom it tells you this is from web application and this is from web application. So if I might wonder which hosts are here, I would go to the left here and this tells me there's only two different values of host. So when I click it, web server had it and web application had it. The Access database does not have any records that match these criteria. All right, that's what you can see there.
And it shows you the instances that you have in relation to the number of events.
Right, this is how many it found. So I had 49,000 from the web server with failed, and only 1,900 from the web application with failed, and none from the other source.
So if from an investigation standpoint, just as a general workflow practice, are you now focused on the 1,900 or the 49,000?
Well, I'd have to know the scenario better. In this case, we're just seeing how the queries work. But yeah, when we do like boss of the SOC, then we'll have a goal and we'll understand how we narrow in on the goal.
Would a rule of thumb be focus on the events that have the most volume, or again, it just depends on the scenario?
No, it'd be the one that gets you to your goal, and you have to know your goal.
Okay, so thinking about it like, as you used the analogy before, finding a needle in a haystack,
Yeah.
how are we refining to a specific instance where we can actually see what happened?
We'll see it in boss of the SOC. Like we did last time, we found the traffic that went backwards through the network. And that was one way to find suspicious events. And we're going to do similar things there, like how to detect a brute force event where there are many logins and things like that. Yeah, you have to, that's why that is kind of lore. You just sort of learn how to search for common problems. So now we're going to do fail star and password. All right, that's going to be, let's try that. So this was 51,000 events. But if I do fail star and password, I think that's what they told me to do. Yeah, okay. Then I get 49,000 events again. And I want to notice the port values for the events, okay. So here, fail star and password, I have again two hosts, the same two, web server and web application, but I should be able to find the port number somewhere here.
You go into that interesting field assignment thing?
Yeah, I may have to. Let's see if, oh, here, I see a port there, port 22. So I wonder what happens if I highlight that. Will it give me the chance to add that to the search? I don't think it's in a separate field. Let's try expanding it. Yeah, it looks like they didn't put port 22 in a field, but it's somewhere in the text. So I think I'm going to have to just put in the string port 22. I want to see, I'm just going to have to add 22. It's not in a separate field like it should be. So I'm just going to have to add it. Now I can do that in the GUI, of course. It's kind of silly, but since I wanted this 22, I could add to search.
And so that is just.
It just puts the 22 there. And so now I get 39,000. These are now SSH failed logins and something about a password. So that's what you see, failed password. This is what I'm looking for. This is somebody trying to break in, perhaps. There shouldn't be so many failed password events. And now, not only events with port 22, but all those events with the number 22. There may be others that have 22, like this has 22 in the timestamp. So I'm getting events that really aren't part of the what I'm looking for here.
And
okay.
As we discussed earlier, you can't put quotes port 22.
You could do that, and then it would look for exactly that string.
But I thought we said the quotes didn't matter.
Well, they matter in that respect, I think. If I've used them that way, and it works.
Okay, so
but,
why wouldn't you just put port 22 up into the search?
I think that would work if I wanted these events. In fact, we are going to do things like that in Boss of the Sock. Yeah. And it does work to make it look for that whole string. But the thing that was surprising is what's inside there is an IP address, it still interprets it as a number. That's why I think the thing is so smart that even if you give an IP address, it's always technically a string. It's got letters and dots in it. So Splunk is smart enough to understand that string in a way that Google wouldn't. So, but you're right. Anyway, so there we're done. To paste the results, there are many login failures. Use the timeline. And the timeline, they look pretty consistent. But if I do what you wanted to do and I make it port 22, that should get rid of those extraneous ones. Now I get 37,000. And now again, looking at the timeline, it looks like just a constant number of them. So this seems like somebody, and this is during Friday. This is like 1,000 a day. And this, by the way, is really common, low and slow. There are bots that try to log in every minute or something, slowly, to avoid triggering a threshold of too many logins too fast. So if you open port 22 on a server, you'll see these attempts to log in instantly. And the same thing with RDP. And some of them, a real attacker wants to get in right now. They'll run a script and try thousands all at once. And that you can often detect, but they're also low and slow, just trying every IP address on the web, a list of like 1,000 passwords. And of course, if you run that every day, you'll get a few more servers where you find a working password.
If you just want to start a server, within minutes, it'll start being attacked.
Yep. And I'm sure that you get in. People that choose a common password, and then you have a steady supply of stolen machines you can use for crime, and then they catch you and refresh them, and then you just find another one. So you just run this bot, and you just have like a panel of whichever new ones you caught today. And there's an endless series of people making the same mistakes over and over. So there's the game. Single click one of the columns, look at these events. If there's spikes, click one of the usernames. All right, let's try that. So if I go to some day, then I'll get, there, double click, it narrows in just the 1,300 on this day. And now I see all these different usernames. Gitolite, Perl, FPass. This is, by the way, common. This is what they call password spraying, not where you don't try one user account and a bunch of passwords. You try one password and many user accounts, which amounts to the same thing, but it doesn't set off filters. Because your typical filter is, are many attempts to log into the same user account within like 5 minutes, then it's an attack. Because you do have thousands of users, so at 9 o'clock in the morning, they all log in at the same time. Yeah. So having many different users log in at the same time is not a trigger. That's why password spraying is the common modern technique. Anyway, all right. And click one of the usernames, and we'll get a menu of options, add to search. Okay, so you want to see who else tried to log in as Gitolite. We can add that to the search. And you see there are 8 events of Gitolite trying to log in. So I think you can see here the timeline at 11:37 and 7 and 650, it's going through a list of passwords and hitting this one every now and then. And it might be cycling through periodically, it might be randomly going through them. All right, and now click the username again and remove from search. Okay, I can do that.
You're not interested per se in the interval of which of the attempt.
We will be later,
Okay.
but for this
At
one,
this point, we're not.
For this one, I'm not. Yeah. So now we're going to remove that from the search. Okay. And now we get back up to 1300 for this day. Okay. And now we're going to save and share results. We're going to find the job menu, edit job settings. Okay. And now the default is private. Click everyone for read and extend the lifetime. So read permission to everyone and extend the lifetime.
And this is you going to go ahead and share this job.
I think so, yeah. And then 7 days. Now save and return to your list of job histories. Okay, save. And then activity jobs. All right,
Well,
and
here's the thing we're talking about. You do have an actual repository of jobs.
yeah, there's the job. Admin, searching failed and password. Here's the Ghetto Light. Here's others. And take a moment to review owners and all that jazz. Okay. Click on search criteria, of which I just changed it to 7 days, which was, well, it's this one. I don't see the date anywhere, but I should be able to, you see it? Where is it? Is the 7 days somewhere here? Oh, expires, right. That's in the future. I'm with you, right. Good. And so I can click this, and that will reopen the query. Yep. And that's that. And that's
again,
all.
It's not running the query again. It's
I
just
think it is.
back.
I think you're right. It's not, because notice, yep, I think it's not. And it's also reflected on 1 day we left it. So that's all this one is. And now, when you do this, you do all the Splunk stuff, to get your points, you have to turn in a flag of some kind, and you'll find that on my page. So you go back to CNET 50, and here it is, Mod 5. This page just tells you what to turn in. So you turn in that image showing this stuff.
So I had a question about
Yeah.
the image because I like, I'll be honest, I have been chasing other issues related to the college, so this is the first day this week that I've been focusing on this class.
Yeah.
Last weekend when I turned in for Mod 3.4,
Yeah.
I did a screenshot of the whole sort of section, not just that little box that I
Yeah.
think had the number 1 or something in there.
Yeah, you need this number of events there.
Yeah, so I did that whole box.
That's
not
all right.
just that one little tiny green highlighted area.
It
Is
should
that
be all
okay?
right. It should be all right.
All right.
And it's best if you can type the answer into the flag
I also
field.
did that too.
That'll help, yeah.
Yeah.
You should be all right. My grader should have no trouble finding it.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's kind of, you can draw a frame around it too to make it easier. Any of these
That
little
makes
tips.
sense.
These
Yeah,
little tips up.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to be clear.
Sure.
And again, I should go and look in the Canvas feedback and read what it actually says.
Yeah, that's all right. This is good. Yep. And that's it. So that's the answer. That's the end of Module 5. So let me stop this recording.